Is the slide is visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So let's begin with our DSA class. So can you recollect what we have done last class? Anybody? Yes, go ahead. Somebody just summarize what we have done, please. Last class, what we have done, what all sort or search information we have completed. Can anyone recollect? Please. No volunteers for me? Okay. So these are which we have already covered, and these are the portion for your exams. Okay. So till the tree and its implementations and all the related information with the tree will be there. So this is what I started with searching, and we have seen there are two type of main searching which we focused on: linear search and a binary search. And we have given an example with array and how to do with the linked list and a tree and so on. Okay. So then we started with the sorting methods. So we covered almost the bubble sort, and we just touch upon the insertion sort. Now, can anyone make a difference between bubble sort and insertion sort? Yes, please. I want a volunteer for this. Otherwise, I will call out the names. That's it. Yes, go ahead. What you understood with bubble sort and insertion sort? Anybody? Yes, go ahead. Sonu Kumar, can you answer? Sahil Raj? Yes, please. What you understood with the bubble sort and the insertion sort? Whichever you know, let me know what you understood. Student, please speak up. It's becomes a very odd for when you don't respond.
Yes, ma'am. So bubble sort, what happens is that on each pass we compare two adjacent elements and then swap them. This
Okay.
method is more inefficient as it takes more time. Although the big O, it takes O of n square time in big O notation is still slower. With insertion sort, we have to find either the smallest or the greatest element and then insert it in the particular position and then shift the other elements of the array. This also takes O of n square time, but it's faster than bubble sort.
Where it is achieved that is fastness.
In the number of comparisons,
No, no. Comparison will be same, but it's swapping. In bubble sort, always I just check the neighbors pair. Okay, that after that I don't go beyond that. In the if it is less than or something you want to change, only it is swapped in between them. But here in the while swapping, before you do a swapping, we'll compare the other previous elements also. Okay, so we are not restricted to the neighbors there. Okay, that is where it becomes a bit faster, because in a bubble sort we will require one more iteration to just put it in a proper place. Okay, we require n minus 1 because we are iterating there. Okay, so in that way insertion sort happens to be the faster, because we swapping number of swap will be less there. Okay, comparison happens to be same, but you know that a comparison is faster than the swapping, because in a swapping I have to change the memory location, I have to put it in a temporary and so on and so forth. Okay, that's a reason bubbles compared to the bubble sort, insertion will be faster for us. Okay, now let us begin with our concept. Thank you for summarizing. Now let us go with the bubble sort, or we already seen this. This is I'm just putting as a just to recollect. Okay. So what is the intention of putting here? If you see this in the first iteration, if it is compared the highest element, is my cursor is visible to you? Okay, so this highest number in this given array, the highest number, whatever the value, is being pushed to the, because the requirement is ascending order, say for example. So the biggest number or the highest number will be put at the end of that as required. Okay, then in a second iteration, the second highest will be put, but though it is the lowest value, this is not sorted at the beginning. Okay, we'll see the difference when we do the insertion sort for this. Okay, so the comparison, the way we do the comparison or insert or make a change in the values will be differing. So if you see this diagonally, it is the, we are getting the sorted information here. And to overcome the number of iterations till going to the n minus 1 here, we can always go with the a better one. We know already these elements are sorted. Okay, so I need not go around comparing with them. So I can stop in between, just taking one more a smaller way of, or cut short the methods there. Okay, so that is the one concept what we have seen. So the, we have seen how to reduce also. So that is what we discussed in the last class. And we saw the some advantage here is just understanding is easier. And hardly we use this, the though it is a bubble sort, but it is easy to understand any kind of implementation. Okay, so we saw that implementation with array is very simple. Linked list also we try to touch upon. Okay, so you can also think of a tree, how you can go ahead with the tree bubble sort also. Okay, so the here we discussed on a time and a space complexity. And a space, you might have already know that it takes only one swapping, so it is a space is O of 1 or something. Okay, so that is about bubble sort. So then we started with the insertion sort, which is a very brief introduction is given on that. We'll see more today on the this particular sorting method. Okay, this is also a kind of what is a bubble sort only, just improvised. I can think of. Okay, but otherwise the complexity, again we have a much more better sorting methods. We'll see that in a later time. So again in the insertion sort, the name, okay, you can just give the attention to this. Bubble, you can think of it is going with a smaller space. Okay, one by one, a small iteration kind of. So this sorting mechanism where array, okay, the sorted array is built having one item at a time, and array elements are compared. Here comparison happens for all the iteration, but the swapping happens only once. Okay, so it will be swapped and it will put in a particular place. Okay, wherever it is ascending or descending. Okay, so it is sequentially put compared and it is arranged simultaneously. This is the importance if you see the comparison between a bubble sort. Okay, in bubble sort we pay attention to put the your highest number at the last and then like that. But in the case of your insertion sort, when I swap the element, I don't redo the same thing. Okay, but that doesn't happen in a bubble sort. Okay, that is what you have to remember. Okay, so you can think of, we are arranging a deck of cards or something. You are trying to see which is either ascending order or descending. You just compare with the previous. Need not be limited to the neighbor of that. You can go beyond that and see where it is actually placed. Okay, so you make a decision and place them, and then you need not reiterate. Okay, so that is how the things happens here. Okay, now let us see the more on this. Okay, so compare each element. This is where you have the difference with the bubble sort. So you're comparing wherever the iteration starts. Okay, from there you go to the previous till the all the previous values and compare them and see where your actual element, which is a key, we can see which we want to compare, where it fits into, exactly where it is going to fit. Okay, so then you insert, you try to put that. Okay, and shift the other element uh, I plus 1 place. Okay, so we'll see that in programmatic part also. That is where the name comes as an insertion. Okay, so we are inserting the new the key element where you want to place, then shift the previous whatever the other element one place higher up. Okay, So we are inserting, that is where the name come into insertion there. Okay. So, but again, you have some limitation. It is feasible for arrays because linked list it becomes bit complex. It can be implementable, but it is becomes a bit complex there, and a smaller number of element. And again, for the linked list, we have a restrictions because it can be okay if we have a doubly linked list. Otherwise, it is good not possible with a single linked. Okay, so that is a one limitation because we are going to the previous values and it need not be the next value. We have to go back and so on. So with the linked list, it becomes a complex. So hardly we use this method for a linked list. So array, okay, because it's index value we are just taking. So easier to implement there. Okay, so it is also useful, but only it is with the single linked it is going to be difficult. But you can go with the double linked easier compared to the single, because here you have to do a lot of work here, and going previous values will be difficult. But it is possible, but you have to write a complex code for that. Okay. So this is the main concept. The diagram it shows properly. So if the given is this diagram is visible, this 37, the slide is visible to you? Yes, no issues, right? Student, can you confirm just to make sure the whatever your this one, your internet is proper, or my video this one is fine for you? I hope it is visible to you. So let us see, this is a given array. Okay. So if you see, this is unsorted. Okay. And we want to arrange them in a say ascending order. Okay. So it is unsorted. It is not there. It is in a different order. And we want to put it in a ascending order. So what happens, as we mentioned earlier, we start from a second element. We'll compare the second element with the first element. Always start from here. Okay. Then what you're trying to do, you just see whether these are what is the requirement is ascending order. See whether it is now ascending order. So we require to put the smallest one to the first. Okay. So we are comparing, and 4 happens to be greater than that. Okay. So what you're trying to do, you're going to push this, insert this is will be pushed. Now we don't stop at in a bubble sort, we'll go ahead and we'll compare there. Okay. But in a your insertion sort will not stop here. Okay, whatever value we have now, okay, this is going to be compared the next iteration. The next value, this two will be in a bubble sort, make a difference. See, in a bubble sort we just swap the neighbors. Okay, that's all. So insertion sort, this will be compared with the, initially it will be compared with the 4 or something, but it is still, it is the, you have two more elements here. So this comparison again goes beyond the neighbors here, and it will see where it has to be fit here. Okay. And by the comparison, we come to know this two, this element happens to be the first element of this. So what you are in a program, what you are trying to do, you put this value, but this value is being shifted. Make us sure that this is being, it is not just not just done the swapping there. We have inserted and shifted these element. Okay, that is the main difference compared to the your bubble sort. Okay, in bubble sort only the neighbors are being swapped. Okay, but in this case we are comparing the previous elements, and we are making sure that this happens to be the smallest among these three values, whatever comparison I value, whatever we are in a for loop, or and accordingly you are inserting this, literally you are making a new element, and you are trying to shift these the higher whatever values there. Okay, in next element here we don't require the 10 happens to be the if I compare what happens, this happens to be, we don't require a compare swapping there, so it will not do any changes here. Okay, same thing for this. But observe here, in this particular point, this one, okay, now how it will begin, it will compare each element here, previous all these elements, okay, until we find this particular information is smallest in this whole set of values. Okay, so we'll identify a place for that and accordingly we'll shift here. So this one is shifted and accordingly all of these are being, it is something like your serial in serial. You're just putting here and all of these memory allocate whatever contents are being shifted one by one. Okay, till this particular array element. Okay, so that is how at the end of this, if you observe the six, in this case, say for example, in this case we have checked for all the values. But in the case of 6, in this particular point, though we compared, we come to know this. We can stop at this. We need not go beyond here. It is not required. The moment we find this 5 is less than the required comparison, we can stop. We need not go till the end of this. Okay, so we are stopping at this point and we just make sure this has been inserted in a proper place and the next elements are put it in a proper shifted values. Okay, that is where the insertion sort is going to be different from a bubble sort. Okay, bubble, remember, always the previous element. I'm comparing only the previous neighbors. Okay, and I'm just swapping between them. There is no much more comparison beyond the neighbors. Okay, but insertion sort, it is not so. We are at the same time we are comparing, and if it is required, we are not swapping. Basically, the swap in a sense change of the position, the adjacent. It is not so. We are identifying the position where to insert and inserting that element and shifting the other content accordingly. This is where the major difference exists with the bubble and the insertion. Is it clear for you? Student, please verify. Any questions in this? Any questions? Did you follow? Yes. Are you there? Or are just you logged in and went off? Please answer.
Yes, ma'am, understood.
Okay, now let me know if you understood, then what will be our complexity here? Time complexity. Because it is different from bubble sort. The way we do the swapping is different, but what will be the time complexity in that way then? What will be swapping, say, space complexity? Space means the memory. How much memory or extra memory I require in this case? In each iteration, if it is require any swapping. Not swapping, I should not say swapping there. It is a change of memory allocation or something.
Ma'am, it'll be O of n square worst case, and in terms of time, and O of 1 in extra space.
Where do you think, but because here the why you say it is O of 1, though if I'm inserting and then I'm shifting all of them, why you say it is 1 there, only one memory element?
So what we have to do, ma'am, is that we have to move. Suppose if we see the second row, we have to move 3 to the position of 4. So we need to make a
Okay.
copy of
Hmm.
3. We can then
Okay.
shift it, and then we can put 3 where it's meant to go.
Okay. But in this case, I have to compare them and put them. I agree with you. But I'm shifting these to 3, 4 here, right? I'm shifting two values here. So why you saying it is a space is only one? I require only one space extra. Don't you think I require here, I have to shift here, right? The content has to be shifted.
Yes, ma'am. So, like in insertion of an array, like if we do
Mm.
insertion of an element in an array
Mm.
or deleting an element, we
Okay.
only need one extra space to store one of the elements that may get overwritten.
Okay.
So while we are shifting the elements, we don't need an extra space because um, we're just copying it in directly into the next element. We're not overwrite. I mean, we are overwriting in some cases. So
Mm.
in the cases when we are overwriting and we need to
Mm.
retain that element,
Mm.
then we need to save that element in an extra temporary variables. So it will be
Correct.
O of one.
Correct, correct. What you pointed out is right. Though it looks we are shifting here, I'm not require a extra memory for that storing the three or four this content. Okay. So what we are trying to define, if you put it in a your programmatic form. So once I identify, I temporarily swap this and I'll store this into the temporary memory, say for example, or I can put before because I want to shift this content of the your, so I'm just storing that, and once I've done that, I'm utilizing the previous whatever the a of what a j or whatever I'm index the pointer. Okay, so I don't require extra space, the memory for that, only for a temporary which has to be swapped. Okay, which is stored temporarily, and it is being shifted. This four is shifted to this or something, so I'm overwriting on that. So I don't require extra memory in that. So in that way, the space complexity happens to be one there. So whenever I require to swap or change the content here, I'll be requiring a one memory, extra memory, to keep it as a temporary and do the needful. Okay, right, as you pointed out, it is proper. So now let us see more on the your algorithm. So if I want to implement in any of your language or something, so what is we are trying to, we are trying to iterate from array of, this is the index, it's array concept which I'm trying to say. So it is taking all over the your all the length of the array. So current element, always you are going from current element, the pointer where I'm trying to search for. Okay, so I'm comparing, that will be a current pointer, or I call this as a key for us. And remember, its predecessor, it is not just limited to the previous value as in a bubble sort. It will go to the entire list of previous values. Okay, that is where the comparison, the difference occurs for a bubble sort compared to the bubble sort. Now this key element is compared until, and it is the comparison stops only when we see that is a smaller, the whatever you are comparing, whether it's ascending order or descending order. In ascending order, we'll see the smaller values. Okay, so we'll see and compare them, and we identify it has been in a proper position, and move the greater. This is the another change compared to the bubble sort. Move the greater elements one position up to the next position. Okay, to make a space for a swapped element. This is the change what we see compared to the bubble sort. Okay, so we insert the particular information, okay, and move the content one position greater than that same order. Okay, so that is where the algorithm happens in that. Okay, now if you see it is in a linked list. Okay, so what we're going to do, the array is very simple to implement. Okay, now if I see the linked list, okay, the current, so always we know already the header, the head value has to be there for go access the your linked list. So initialize that current header to the your first point of that. Okay, so you are storing that current element or whatever. Now what you're trying to do, you create and initialize a node. Okay, so I want to create a sorted head. We are making a one folder, or sorry, a flag kind of. We have to make sure the previous one is sorted or not or something. We require that. We'll see that. And track the head of all sorted list. Okay, so this will be initially it is made null. Okay, this is extra point we require to do that. Okay, so iterate the list until your current not equal to null. So what you're trying to do, in a previous, if I see the array, you iterate over all the length of that array. But in case of a linked list, we don't usually don't know the length. How we'll identify? We'll identify the pointers. the the last node, you know that, doesn't contain to the next pointer. The pointer what it is pointing is going to be the null. So if we have one more element at the next of that, we'll be having an address of that. So whenever we encounter a null, that is the end of your the list or the linked list kind of. Okay, so that is where you're trying to iterate for. Okay, so you're trying to iterate the current, the whatever the pointer or the wherever you have address is null. Okay, so this null happens only at the end of your list. Okay, so store the next element. What you're trying to do? You're trying to see the next element after the current, okay, node. So the current is going to be the next. So initialize, you are initializing to the current header here. So you're finding the next element because you're going to put a next element. You're going to point to the next element. So get the address of that, okay, because initially we are starting with a header pointer here, okay. So go to the next element, the address of that, take that current next, okay. So compare the content of this next element, whatever is there in that, okay. So compare the data value with the what you started with, the header value, okay. So see that whether there is a comparison, is it in a right insertion, is it in a proper way, okay. So what you're trying to do, you're trying to see the comparison. Once you find there is a requirement of change, or do you retain the same sorted value. So what you're trying to do it here, insert the current in the partially sorted part. Now this part happens with after the comparison. The data value is compared, and if it requires the insertion, you require to create a node, okay, temporary node, and insert that value and appropriately change the next element, the address of that, because everything is, if you remember the linked list, I'll just take an example here. So linked list, if I take the sorted, a single linked or whatever you have, okay. So I have a data here and I have a address, okay. So I'll just take a two of them. So this is address content, this is a data value. I'll compare, I'm just started with the current value, and from the current next I'll get this address, okay. So this address is being pointed. So I'll compare these two values, okay. Data values are being compared. So this is my data, okay, this is my data, and what is this one, these are the address one. So I'll compare these two, and then what I'm doing, say for example, this is the highest value, so 10, and this is 5. Okay, then there is no swapping. I don't require to do any change in this. But this happens to be the 5 and this happens to be 10. So I have to make a sorting. I have to change the position. So what you're trying to do, you're trying to create a temporary node. Okay, so this particular 5, the whatever the current, this particular the value is being put into that, and the address of this will be the this particular value, the header value, because now currently it is pointing to the current is at this position, so we know the address of that. So we rewrite the address of the newly created linked list, and we put this value, swap this value and put this, and give the pointer to this. Okay, this will be discarded because now we rearrange the values, and before we discard, this particular address has to be stored here, otherwise we'll lose the whole thing there. Okay, so this particular information is before I discard everything, we are rearranging the data along with the address of this. Previously this was the starting point, now this will be the starting point for our linked list. And once I change this address which was pointing here, because this is the where we have the next address, so this address has to be shifted here, otherwise we'll lose all the things. Okay, so after this we are discarding this. Okay, so what happens if we have another linked node, okay, which contains a data and address. Now this particular data, whatever is there in a linked list, the address, now it is pointing to here because already we restored the content here. That is an extra point what we have to do it for a your linked list compared to the array. Array, we need not do the restore the address there, but in the case of linked list we have to do that. Okay, so the current is now pointing to the the newly not the newly, this will be the header for me, this will become a the current element. So again it will be compared with the data of this. Okay, so that is the how the iteration happens. Is it clear for you? Say for example, again I find this, say it is a the next value. Say I get a value, say it is 5 here, and this happens to be 8. Say for example, so you want to swap between this, and this happens to be say 3 or something like that. Okay? So what happens? This has been arranged. Okay, now this will become the header, and this becomes your the next higher value. But this has to be now. Do I require to swap here? Do I require to do the change in this linked list position? Please answer. Consider I have the 3 here, and I have the data value as 5, and I have the data value, the next linked list value is node is 8. In this case, I don't require to do any swapping, okay, or a shifting of that, because it is in order, in the order of ascending. So I need not do any change in the pointers, okay, or I'll be the current is just moved to the this value, and it is going to be the next linked list. That's all. Okay, because I get an address from here. Okay, so it will point to the next element basically. Okay, so but in this case, if I find this as a 1 here, okay, so data is 1, so it will be compared with this. It is not there. Okay, so 8 is not right one. Okay, whatever we have, but you require to keep a current whatever you have sorted array there. This is where the extra pointer will come here. Okay, so you require to keep that header value, because I want to travel in the backward direction to go ahead with this. Or you can start all the from the your starting point of this. Okay, one way is you require to keep the address of the previous, that is how you can implement. Or always we have the header values. Okay, so you can compare 1 with the 3. Okay, the first values. So since it is the lesser value, what you're going to do, you're going to swap. I require to change my all these content, this becomes my first value. So the current happens to be the whatever is going to be the header, I'm going to start with this particular value. So basically, I'm trying to keep the my memory allocation. If you see, it is going to be the same. Only the content of this, the address of this previously was pointing to the next new value. But now I have to put this as the first value. So this will be the first value. So second value, whatever is there here, okay, will be rechange. This particular value, whatever I have, the address will be swapped here. So basically, you're trying to do the swapping of your address, because linked list is distributed. They are in the different memory locations. Okay, they are not continuous as compared to the your arrays. Okay, so you here everything manipulation happens only with your pointers. Okay, the next values and the data values. So we are just creating a node and changing its address pointers, the value content of that. So that is how we are playing with the your linked list in this case. So we should be aware of the way it is being stored in the linked list, and the address. The address plays a main what do you say, thumb point, or which is the main point in this linked list. If you lose this address, we lose whole details of your linked list. Okay, so compared to your array is address, it the name itself, array name itself is a pointer for you, and all the index values are going to be the pointing, because it is continuous memory. But here it is not so. So we have to keep account of this address what we require. Is it clear for you? Is it fine? Are you able to implement? Are you confident enough to write a C++ program? Any kind of program is fine, but we, as a syllabus, we'll be going with the C++ here. So given say we'll be giving you the some linked list in this particular order, and we say that you write a C++ program, so that you'll get at the end of the sorting, you'll get a particular fashion. Okay. So you require to write a C++ program for this particular whatever insertion sort, say for example. Okay, so but understand, whenever you implement, don't copy the content. You understand why it is required and how many iteration it takes. What is a better way to write a code for that? Basically, we are trying to change the pointer values. Okay, the way it is being pointing, which point has to be there in a next or something. So that is a main event, and we should not lose the header value, the first value, the starting point of your linked list. That is very essential for us. Okay, we have to keep that information. Is it fine? Is it clear for you? Hope it is clear. Okay. So if you come to the complexity analyze, okay, it is better than the your bubble sort. Why? Because I'm comparing only the neighbors there, and then in the next iteration again the pair of that. So it takes a lot of time to swap, because number of swap happens to be the more. But comparison, if you see, it happens to be same as your insertion sort. Okay, so in bubble sort we'll have a more number of swapping, and but the sorted, say for example, this is the already sorted array is given to you. Okay, now let us see how much time it takes to do that. Though it is sorted array, to make sure it is proper in place, the comparison happens to be going through all the array element, because I have to compare each one of the whether this is right or wrong. So if you see that it is n number of step is the for loop, if I put, or while loop, whichever loop you're trying to use, I require to compare. I require n number of steps to sort already sorted array, because I'm trying to compare them and go ahead with the next element kind of. So best time complexity, if you see, again it is a linear function of n. So if I've got 1000 element, I have to compare all the 1000 element to make sure it is the in proper place. Okay, so that is where it is a linear function of n there. Okay, so that is the best case also is going to be the O of n here. Okay, n is a number of elements in the array. Now let us see the worst case. It is already unsorted array. It is not a sorted one. Then every element is compared with all other n element, no issues. And it has to do again a change of that. Okay. N element is compared with the all other element, which means every n element is compared with all other n elements. So it is n within the n. It is like a loop within a loop kind of. So it is going to be the n square compare. It is not n2, it is n square. Okay, so n square comparison. So in that way, if you see the comparison wise, okay, your bubble sort and the insertion sort happens to be the same. Okay, so that's the reason we get a worst case also is a n O of n square, and your best case happens to be O of n here, and average is going to be the O of n square. If you see this comparison, this table, it is the same as your bubble sort, because the comparison happens to be within one loop to the another. Only the way we swap that is going to be different here. Okay, so that is the comparison. You can see it with the your what do you say, bubble sort. Is it clear? Any questions from my insertion sort? Please answer. Students, please answer, because we are going for another sort method. So I want a confirmation from you. You followed or any question in the insertion sort? No questions? Okay. So we'll go for a very interesting sort method, that is a merge sort. Okay. So the name itself says is something you are trying to merge there. But before that, we'll see what is its algorithm there. Okay. Though we say merge sort, the basic method is divide. Okay, though we'll see at the end it will be merged, but it starts with the dividing the information. Okay, we'll see that how and in what way. And another concept is conquer. That is, you're trying to limit your the division. You're trying to divide and make a decision, and then leave that decision. So you're divide and conquer kind of. Okay, so that is the way you're trying to do this. Okay, so the benefit, if you see this, cut the problem in half until the problem is very small to handle or something like it. Basically, it boils down to the one element. You're trying to, until it reaches to that. You're trying to compare between two elements. At least two information has to be there. So you'll end up, you try to go cut the information till you have only two elements there. Okay, after that you can't compare anything. Okay, so once you make a decision between two of them, you are boiling down to the two elements only. You may get a information. You get a what do you say, sorted one. Then we will merge in the hierarchy the all the elements one by one. We'll see that. Okay, so that is where the name comes as a combine the solution or the merging of the your array. So the basically we start with cutting the information. So though we say it is a divide, okay, unsorted array into two halves, we'll see how in a program we are going to implement that. Okay, though we say that you cut the array into the two and go with them. It is not like a your binary search kind of. We'll see that how you're doing it, implementing. Okay, so I'll show you with the diagrammatic way, so that will be easier for us. Okay, so what is the algorithm? The basic algorithm in a first part. Okay, we are passing the array. Okay, so if the array size is greater than that, is just you make a caution that array has at least two elements in that. Okay, so divide the array into half of that. Half means usually the way we implement, I'll show you the how we are implementing that also. So basic concept is divide into half of that. Then call the, you can call the same iteration or a merge sort can be applied, and you can, depending on your requirement, you can pass the array, whichever array you want to do, but the method is same. So you, once you get the sorting for the first half and the second half, then merge those two values, merge to that half of that. So an entire array which is sorted one will get. Okay. Now, if you see the how it has been merged there, so we are passing two arrays. This is the first half and the second half. This is a basic algorithm, what I can say. Compare the leading element in each array. So because when we merge, again we have to compare them and see the lower space and where it can be accommodated and recombine them. Okay, we'll see that in a pictorial way. So this is how you're trying to implement. So in the implementation, though we say it is cut into half, okay, we don't do that the array ways. So what we have the pointer in place. Okay, so if this is whole array is there, what we do, when I identify the number of element, I know what is the middle point of that, what is the array index, the half of that. Okay, so I'll put a pointer I know what is the beginning of a second array, next the end of the next array or something like that. So we are managing, we can manage with the array index. Okay, so that itself is going to be the pointers there. Okay, so we are passing only one array. The array is being passed, only we are keeping extra pointers or extra memory allocation, so that it will be a considering whether which is a starting point for the next element, the half of the part, second half or a first half or something. So we are taking care with the extra memory elements, okay, extra members there. But otherwise, we don't do a physical division of any of the your array there. Okay, that is how we'll do it in a program. Okay, now let us. I don't put a more on this, so we'll see the example here. Is it visible? So you can see this. We have a array. We have which is unsorted. You can see this is 98, then 23, and so on and so forth. And what is the length of this array? It is 8. Okay, 8 elements are there in this. So according to the merge sort, first is we are going to divide this. Okay, so this is a pictorial just representation. We are trying to divide the unsorted as it is, okay, to the divide. So this becomes an entire different entity, and this becomes an entire different entity. But in programmatic way, we'll keep the index as a starting point where it is the first array part and second array or something like that. Okay, so this is in the physically, if I just put it as a and break them and see as a two half of that, but it is not so in a programmatic. Okay, now in this two divide, we are divided initially, and what is that? First, the division method, it will go and till the you divide, you get a until two element. This is the, you can't stop at, you just go one more step where you will end up in dividing, but you can't compare this. Okay, this is the end point of your division. This is how you'll divide the whole array in this particular subsequent. Okay, so the next point is you can't compare, the 98 cannot be compared with itself, right? That is the limiting point for us. So what we do, we'll merge, we'll start merging here, but we'll follow some rules here. Now, what is that rules? We'll compare these two values, okay, and we rearrange. While merging, we'll rearrange this two pointers, this two values, okay. So we swap or do the things, and we'll rearrange. While merging, we'll rearrange the content here. Okay, now this happens for the next one. We'll try it initially, we'll try this as a 45 and a 14 as a separate, and we'll end up in the end of our iteration, and then we do the merging of that. So once we merge, we are now partially, if you observe, these two are sorted and these two are sorted here. Okay, but we have to merge this four elements. Now again, while merging, what we are trying to do, we'll compare the first index of this and first index of this. Okay, and see are they in the whatever required ascending or descending order, which one will be the first one element here. So accordingly we'll place them. The 14 will be placed here and the first, and what happens, the comparison happens with a 23 with a 45. Okay, because it is basically the pointer, we are just moving the pointers here. So 23 is going to be moved to the compared with the 45, and we find that 23 happens to be the lesser than 45. Now the comparison happens with this will be retained at this, and comparison happens with the 98. Okay, so comparing these two elements, 45 happens to be here, okay, the next element, and 98 happens to be the last element. So we get the half part of that array, the given array is being merged and sorted. Okay, so same rule applies for the next half, second half also. It will go initially dividing till the basic, this is the point where it will divide completely, and then try to merge here. Now again, if you observe, the index are compared within this four of them only. Okay, then accordingly what we had discussed in earlier place, it is going to be followed. Now these are independent two set of values, and they are sorted one, if you observe this. So what will be the next part? We are trying to merge them together, okay, with the your ascending order method. Okay, so what we are comparing? We are comparing index of this with the index of this and see the content of that. And this happens to be the smaller, so this will be placed, and now the comparison will begin with the 14 with the next element of this. So 14 is compared with the 33. And do we require to compare with this 23? Anyone answer? Don't see the content here, the pointer. Do I require to compare this 14, this particular pointer with this particular information? Do I require to do that? Yes. Yes, can you answer? Do I require to do that? See, in the next iteration, 6 is put a smaller value, so it is placed. But in the next iteration, this 14, they don't see the your content here. If I see the pointer wise, this the first element of your array, the half of the first half, will be compared with the second half, the second value. Okay, so if in this case the 14 happens to be the data value happens to be the smaller than the second value here, so it will be placed. I agree, but do why we are not required to compare into the second element of this? Because it is already taken care here. This step is already made sure the whatever half of this which we arrived in is already sorted manner, so I need not reiterate that. Okay, so I'm just forwarding the loop there. Okay, so that's the reason the next pointer, this second elements, the pointer is being shifted here. Okay, and this is being compared with the second of this. So in this case, 23 happens to be the next element, the probable element. So the pointer of this is being moved to this. That is how it is going to, if you see, observe in a pointer way. Okay. So this 45, the next iteration, 45 will be compared with this, and this happens to be the smaller, and this the pointer is being moved here and retaining this as a third element only, this particular pointer only. Okay, so appropriately, if you observe, the pointers are being shifted there, and then accordingly we compare and will come to a decision that which one will be placed first. So in the last iteration, if you see, the last element of this has been compared, and 67 happens to be the smallest one. So compared to the other values. So 67 is placed and 98 is placed at the end of that. So basically it will come as the your array kind of arrangement. So you can observe this as a, I can create a very zero kind of array which is containing nothing or containing all zeros or something. And accordingly I can, using this kind of merge and sort method, I can replace, I can just put the element in a proper place there. Okay, so that is how we implement in the your programmatic way. Is it clear for you? It is bit complex than your bubble sort or insertion sort, but it is interesting. It will be faster. We'll see that. Is it clear for you? Yes, students, can you answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now can you tell me what will be the complexity in this? A space complexity or this time complexity in this? Yes, anybody? Can you answer that? What will be the time complexity? Please answer. No time complexity. Is it one? Space complexity, how much is that? If you're not answering, then I will do the some other way. Okay. So this is about your merge sort. So this is the your given array, and we'll at the end of our program as we require, will end up in a sorted one. Okay, it's a ascending order. Now if it was a descending order, okay, the comparison changes only in the previous way. Okay, when we combine the in each of the steps, okay, the smaller steps. So basic idea is here. Okay, so first is your dividing whole content into the smaller, the smallest of all of them. Okay, smallest of all the your group. Okay, you go on dividing here, and if you have a descending order, if you want a descending order, then Yeah, probably at this point, the next juncture, when you do a merging here, because in this case, what I've given an example is put it in ascending order. In this point, you are reordering this. Okay, so 98 happens to be here and 23 happens to be here in the this particular merge. So basically you're trying to see it as the, if I see try to put a different wordings for this, you're the whole given problem you're trying to divide to the smallest one, and then trying to combine them the smaller from the root, okay, from your smallest point to the bigger point. Okay, so that is how you're trying to reach this particular problem or sorting of the your information here. So that is the your the what is the best part of this, each iteration, the number of iteration it takes here. Say for example, I want to compare this, it hardly, there is no comparison in the when we divide into one here. Okay, so the comparison happens at this when we want to merge this. So the comparison happens only at the first point, only the two values I'm just comparing with between two of them, and here also I'm comparing between two of them. But in the next part, I'm comparing with the, because it is already sorted here, I need not reiterate this 98. Okay, because already we know these are in ascending order. So in that way it will be, initial part is just go on dividing, we are not focusing on comparison here. Okay, so that is a main difference. So in all bubble sort or insertion sort, we'll start with the second element and compare whether it is greater, less than, and all those. Here we are not focusing there. Okay, we are trying to divide our problem into the smallest one and start comparing at this point and accordingly merge, arrange them also. Okay, so in that way this will be faster. I need not do much decision here. Okay, at the while dividing the content here, but only the when I do a merging, I'll be comparing and reordering them. Okay, so that is how your work of your comparison happens there. Okay, so compared to your bubble sort, we'll start our iteration itself, the beginning itself, we'll try to compare and swap them or do the changes, but here it happens at this point. Okay, so we are trying to divide to the smallest and then merge them such a way according to our requirement. Okay, so the name itself is the merge sort for this. So that is the how the merge sort happens here. And for bigger value also, it is able to do much faster because we are dividing into the smallest. It is just division is very simple, we are just changing into the pointer values, we are not making a much complex. We'll see that when we do the implementation. Okay, so that is how it works. So divide the unsorted collection into two, that is the minimum we require to compare. Okay, so until sub arrays only contain, this is the end of your division you can think of. Okay, so contain only one element, so then go in a hierarchical way, upper one, so merge the sub problem solution together. So that is the summary of your divide, sorry, basically divide and conquer or merge sort here. Now for your homework, okay, so this is the homework for you, take down. Okay, how to write a program for this merge sort. Okay, implement, we have given the example or algorithm for that. So you require to implement a C++ program for that. Okay, how you can implement a C++ program for this merge sort, and what will be the complexity, time complexity and a space complexity for the your say O of n or whatever the values. Okay, I want to you to explore and say what will be your time complexity and a space complexity for merge sort. Please go ahead and search for that, it is available, lot of information is available to you. Please get an answer for this. Okay, so try to implement that in a C++ for the linked list as well as the your what is that for array. Okay, and see what will be the complexity of your bubble, say compared to the bubble sort, what will be time and your space complexity for the merge sort. So this will be your homework. Okay, is it clear? Please do that. So if you have any questions, I'll take upon that. Otherwise, we will conclude our class. Any questions, students? And all the best for your in upcoming exams. Okay, do well. Any questions regarding the your any DSA class?
Could you upload all the slides?
This will be, you can see it in the your this only. I will not put our slides for this. So anyhow, recording is there with you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So I will conclude the class, today's class. So your quiz will be launched by whatever the time you have, a 10 up to 10 you have the timings. So by 10 it will be launched. So answer those, and all the best for your upcoming exams, all the exams. Okay. Thank you.